Okay, I think I'm set now. Once again, I want to thank you, especially for bringing me on board this platform. I we have an interesting. I hope we have a very interesting time together because there's so much to talk about, and I, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to make some good justice to the topic. So let's talk about project management. Project management is so huge. We won't be able to talk about so much about it, but that important angle to look at it from the angle of it being an untapped world of lots of goodies that we all need to leverage on, you know? So he has introduced me. I'm Ibrahim Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese word. It's signed the Japanese word for continuous improvement. And that's key. That's one of those things we'll be taken out of here. The culture of continuous improvement. That's a very key aspect of managing quality and managing our lives generally. So, because of time, let me just skip over this. I'm Kaizen, and there is a philosophy that I preach, and I call it the Kaizen tribe. We always seek ways to enhance productivity. We are thirsty to boost performance. We love to continuously grow and improve. We are Kaizen. That's my answer when I'm starting webinars. Okay, there's a problem. There's a problem. There's a problem. Most professionals are struggling to keep up with the unprecedented pace of change and uncertainty. There's so much going on around us today. In fact, it's so difficult. Before we used to predict what's happening next year, 5 years' time. Now it's so difficult to make accurate predictions because there's so much. Look at COVID, look at recession. There's so much going on. There's so much change. An average professional today is overwhelmed. There's always that feeling of, will I continue to be relevant? Am I up to the task? Am I able to continually, meet the challenges of today? And they think there's no proper structures to overcome this. An average professional wants to do all of this: improve professionalism, gain respect, improve conversational confidence, enhance their approach to business, and provide solutions to challenges, do right things. And in fact, do the right things the right way. Because right now that we have a lot of economic issues, the better you are able to conserve resources, achieve something that is 10x what you ordinarily would achieve with the same resources, then of course you become the pride, you become the star person around the organization. You also want to speed up career growth. We all want to seek for managerial skill upgrade and many more and many more. These are the normal stuff that are in the mind of an average professional of today. And when we say professional, either in the area of entrepreneurship or career line working in an organization. Okay, so, hey, sorry, please. Sorry. Okay, is my slide back? Okay, I think it's back now. So I want to give us a simple, a very small analogy here. Of course, we can see a jar. We can see a jar here with maybe cornflakes, maybe golden morn, maybe gari, with something with a grain. And then you have this small rats or mice on it, mouse, and then it's eating. You understand? It's eating. And that's the problem with a lot of us today. We're in our comfort zone. All is fine. We are maybe earning well, you have a job, or your business is moving, and we are fine. Yes, it's good to be fine. But imagine a situation of this mouse here. The little rat here is there. It has food to eat, and then he's in a jar. He's eating. He's eating and eating. And then what just happened? Can you imagine what has happened? The rat has eaten and eaten and eaten and eaten and eaten. While food might not be the problem just yet, there's another problem. Maybe perhaps a bigger problem. The rat is now trapped. The rat is now trapped in the jar. And this is a very good analogy of what happens in the lives of a lot of professionals. A lot of us in our businesses and our careers, we try to do things the good way, the right way, you know. We do things the way we've always been doing it, and then we are moving and moving and moving until a point we realize that we are stuck. Until a point we realize that it seems like the dynamics of what's around me no longer fits into the way I do my things again. That's the reason why at every point in time, there must always be some form of situation awareness to understand what exactly do I need to excel today. Fine, I might be excelling in my own little space, but in relation, in the context of the big, how well am I faring? This is a very important question we all need to keep asking. How is it related to project management? We'll still get there. This is just like still trying to introduce the concept. So let's listen to Baba. I call him Baba Isaac Newton. He said something long ago, several hundreds of years ago. And it's quite interesting. I want us to take notes, if possible, even write it down. It's quite popular anyway. If I have seen further, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. A lot of us today make a mistake, waste time, waste resources, gamble with our success by trying to figure things out on our own. Well, yeah, in the angle of creativity, you can always, open new markets, try to figure things out. Yes, but there has to be some element of you leveraging on some platforms, leveraging on some systems, leveraging on some platforms, systems, knowledge, mentorship system, wherever, to be able to gain speed, to be able to avoid making the same mistakes others have made before. In my basic understanding, then in school, many decades ago, many years ago, about 2 decades ago, when we were in school, basic computer science, CSE 101, they will tell you, don't reinvent the wheel. But a lot of us today will reinvent the wheel on our path to success. And it's quite unfortunate. It's a system, it's an approach that the faster we're able to dump it, the better for us. Such that, anyway, let's move on. So, an explanation of this quote, my own understanding of this quote is that people become geniuses when they can tap into timeless wisdom and leverage on existing working frameworks. Let me take that again. People become geniuses when they can tap into timeless wisdom and leverage on existing frameworks, working frameworks. In fact, in some cases, even if the framework is not working, your understanding why it's not working could even be the big boost for you to be able to maybe create something that is working. So the whole idea is, in all we do, how can we look for something to leverage on such that you're not starting from scratch? You're starting from like maybe 30%, maybe 40, maybe 50. In some cases, you could even be starting at 70 or 80, maybe even 5. But the whole idea is, whatever you are doing, okay, let's pick success in life as an example. We all want to succeed in life. So the question we ask ourselves is, what kind of system are we leveraging on? We all want to be successful professionals. We all want to be better leaders. We all want to be better facilitators. We want to be able to craft systems, manage projects, run businesses, run our lives. Are we working by trial and error? We want to waste decades of our life learning from our own mistakes alone. That's a very wrong approach. We can achieve a lot of good progress by actually leveraging on other people's mistakes, leveraging on systems created by other people. Not that when we say leveraging on systems by other people, it's not as if we are out there to start doing copy and paste approach to life. Not exactly. The purpose of leveraging on other people's systems is that you want to rise not from ground level. You want to rise from a level someone has stopped. You want to create your own system, picking and picking and picking from lots of existing systems. We all want to succeed in life. Is there a system? Is there an approach to succeed in life? How has X succeeded? How has Y succeeded? How has Z succeeded? And then we want to come across, pick lessons from all these people to be able to now increase our chances of success. And this forms the introduction to today's talk. Now let's go to project management. What is project management? Essentially, the ABC definition of project management is something you do, or a science and art that can enhance your capacity to deliver. Deliver well, whatever you are doing, deliver it well, achieve results, get, let's say customer satisfaction. And then when we say customer satisfaction, there's so much that goes into it. Doing it the right way, using the right resources, achieving the results. So that's project management. Then there's lots of technical talk to it. But summarily, it just means you want to work on something, you have people, you have resources, there's money, material resources, financial resources. How can you be that central figure to ensure what needs to get done gets done? At the right time, it's done. The right way, by the right people, using the right resources. We are in a very interesting time today. There's so much of knowledge, little action, little reliability. Professionalism itself is even coming down. There's so much of mediocrity out there. All you need to be able to double up your shine is by increasing these capacities we are talking about. Of course, interestingly, when we say project management, we all manage projects one way or the other in our lives. And that is the plain truth. We all manage projects. Every single person manage projects. What's a project? Okay. How do I explain a project without being technical? A project is whatever you're doing, you have a clear goal. I want to achieve this. And then maybe you have some time frame. You want to start at some point, you want to finish at some point. And you have you have a clear objective. That's a project. And then it's not ongoing, it's not like forever. No, you want to get something done by this time, or maybe around this time. That's a project. So I'm sure every one of us here can start counting 1,000,001 things that we all do around us that actually fits into this definition of being a project. In fact, one very important point I need to say at this point is that a lot of misconceptions fly around regarding project management. People hear project management and they only think of construction. They only think of architecture. They only think of, some of all those hard stuffs. Well, I call them hard stuffs. But the reality is, project management is around you. In fact, project management is everywhere. In fact, in your own body, say project management be there. That's the reality. Sorry, I'm not a very formal person. You just look around you. In fact, you're being able to make it to this webinar itself could have been a project on its own. You had the risks now. I'm sure some of us here have had to come up with an alternative connection in case your primary internet breaks down. You are managing risk. It's just that these things don't have to be called by their technical names. You're managing risk. Today is July 1st. You probably would have received your salary. You have a budget. You are managing costs. So when we hear project management, let's stop thinking it's just something that is there in the sky. You probably need to have a super certification. We all manage projects. So it's just a case of, are you an active project manager? Or you're just that person who does it but don't want to call it the name it's called? Let's leave the technical name. What you are currently doing, how do you do it in a better way? Because you do it. We all manage resources. We're all professionals here. We all lead teams in our offices. We all manage resources either our own resources or resources for other people. We all have goals, business goals, personal goals. There's a whole world of personal project management. How can you use project management to enhance your personal life? We all have goals. In fact, let me shock you. Life itself is a project. It has an end time. We will all die, even though we don't know that end date yet. But, that's the idea. I could be talking and talking. Let me stop at that point. Let's move on. Okay, so for us to understand how pervasive this idea of project management, people really want manage projects, and people need skills to enhance their capacity to manage projects, but they don't really understand that all of those things they are doing are still around the concept of project management. So sometime last year at GEM Center for Human Capital Development, we ran a short survey. PMI was about doing something very huge, and then they talked to us and they needed us to help them on some things. So we ran a short survey asking people what exactly are the skills they need to be able to become better people at their job, in their lives, and all of that. And then we had 101 people, respondents. Out of the 111 people who filled the survey, they identified, like, we did a tally. We had a total of 316 skills. And of the 316 skills, about almost half have to do with project management. So what are those skills? People management, leadership, emotional skill, emotional intelligence, negotiation, resource management, risk management, conflict management, time management, communications management, collaboration, coaching, agile, motivational skill, networking. Sorry, I can't read everything. Execution, simplicity, listening skill, implementation, with precision, perseverance, personal management, and many more, and many more, and many more. These are part of the tons and tons and tons of sub-skills that come together to form the world of project management. Let me also tell you one more thing. World Economic Forum, sometime a few years ago, I can't remember, they released the reports to say the top 10 business skills that will be in high demand in the new digital and automated industrial age. For today, you have complex problem solving, you have critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making, service orientation, negotiation, cognitive flexibility. They all form some aspects of what you learn or what you have to practice as a result of being a project manager. Project management is a world. Let's stop seeing it in the light of the technical word, project management, project management. A lot of people, when they hear project management, they automatically start thinking of some maybe having to get a PhD in neuro something, or maybe they need to go and get some work with NASA or build a spaceship. No, simple English. You want to be a better person to yourself, to others. You want to be able to manage people. You want to be able to lead. You want to be able to manage your resources. There's so much of chaos in the world today. One of the key skills you can develop to be able to stand out is for you to enhance your capacity to declutter. Because there's so much of cluttering. There's so much of chaos. There's so much of information overload. There's so much of mediocrity. So you're being able to declutter. You're being able to achieve precision in the middle of a lot of nonsense. You're being able to command a team. Well, command is not the right word. Lead a team to achieve an objective. You are gold. You are gold. And as we move on with this life, it's getting even more complicated. It's getting even more chaotic. World needs you. The world needs leaders. The world needs people who can lead, people who can deliver, people who can, execute, get things done. Okay? So these are just some of the various soft skills that part of from the world of project management. Okay, so the why of project management. I think I've discussed that already. So how does project management key into the topic, leveraging on giants? How does project management come into that? Okay, let me relax because I need to explain in a clear way. A universe consists of stars, planets, or let's say the world. The world, you have continents, you have countries, you have states, you have local government, and maybe even councils, or what do you call them, wards and councils and all of that. That's like project management. Project management is like various essential skills coming together. Various skills that one needs to be able to excel coming together, soft and hard skills. Let me read from the slide. Project management gives you the unique opportunity to ingest, look at that word ingest the wisdom of hundreds of thousands of professionals across the world. Why? Let me explain. We have standards. The biggest, the most prestigious, the PMI standard, Project Management Institute in the US. You have project managers from Australia, project managers from Canada, United States, Brazil, all over the world, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, coming together to say, I have 50 years experience managing projects. This is what works. I have 35 years managing projects. This is what works. I have 20 years managing projects. This is what works. I have been in charge of blah, 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 blah for something years. This is what works. And then they come together and say, okay, people who want to start doing things today, they don't need to go and waste 30 years doing trial and error as we have done. Let's give them our wisdom. And then this is dropping his wisdom. Then this is dropping his wisdom. Then this is dropping his wisdom. And then you now have a body of knowledge containing the generic, not that word, I'll explain it later, the generic wisdom of hundreds of thousands of professionals all around the world. Generic wisdom. I use the word generic because this wisdom is not necessarily sector specific. Not like, okay, it only works in construction, or no, it only works in medicals, or no, it only works in software, or no, it only works in wherever. Of course, each of these sectors have their own specific knowledge area, bodies of knowledge, you know. But there's a generic body of knowledge that you can just plug into. It's like a fire hose of wisdom. You plug into it, pick what you need, add it to your own understanding, and then boom, you can grow faster. And trust me, whatever the level of experience you have today, you are not more experienced than hundreds of thousands of people together. There's always something to learn. There's always a catch. There's always a new approach. And that's the reason why you find out that a lot of all these frameworks, they are always updated. The PMI framework was updated last year. A new PMBOK is coming out in maybe some weeks' time or months' time now. They keep updating. Like every 4 years, 5 years, you find them coming together again and saying, okay, what has happened in the past 5 years? What has changed? What's the new way of doing things? And then they come up with an updated version of the body of knowledge. I'm not here canvassing for any particular body of knowledge, but for us to understand that we can 10x our speed of growth if we can simply leverage on the years of experience, the wisdom of tons and tons and tons and tons of professionals. So project management gives you a framework of international best practices to excel, as in boom, excel, yes. And it makes people see you as a genius. There's a story to this. How much time do I have? Okay, how many slides do I have left?
We're doing well. I think we've got another 15 minutes thereabout.
Okay.
before we go to question and answer, because I'm sure people have tons and tons of questions and clarifications. And of course, dear listeners and participants, feel free to use the chat box, okay? You can see that our facilitator is loaded and is ready to go. So drop all your questions in the chat box. It makes it faster while he spends another 15 minutes zeroing in on the key benefits of project management while we put our questions together. Thanks. You can continue, Ibrahim.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So as I was telling you about about a story, when I say genius, one of my, because I coach, I actually do coaching, project management coaching, and then one of my participants, that was about last year, person was telling me an interesting story. Person was almost crying, you know. Person was almost crying. He was telling me that during the session that when truth be told, you probably would learn about 1% of project management in class or in any coaching session or any training session, probably maybe 1%. So you have to keep growing. In fact, I'm so deep into the concept of continuous growing that I adopted the name Kaizen. You know, Kaizen, not my papa, sorry, not my dad gave me the name Kaizen. Kaizen, I adopted it myself. Continuous improvement. You just have to keep growing because no matter how much you learn, you don't even know up to 1/1 billion of what exists. You just keep learning. You have to keep learning, you know. So we're in class and the person was talking and talking and talking. And okay, I was doing a lot of talking. Some other coaches were doing a lot of talking. And the person was like, he can practically see, he can practically diagnose some bad decisions he has taken in the past. I think is clear. A lot of us just want to live our lives by our own wisdom alone. We're not saying you need to go and copy some people exactly as they are, but you can use them as a base point. Okay, you want to manage teams. You need to start racking your head. How do you go about it? You just need to find out, okay, where's the manual? What's the best practice of managing teams? Okay, you want to do something. What's the best practice about doing this thing? You want to do this. What's the best practice? Okay, you want to do something. There's a tool that can make you do it. Okay, how can I learn this tool? And then you learn this tool. Some 30 minutes. In fact, it could be as simple as watching a YouTube video, a 30-minute YouTube video. And then you go into a meeting. And then you start vibrating. And then you think you're a genius. Something you learned just via a 20 minutes 20 minutes YouTube video. Just by being humble enough to understand the fact that whatever I know today, somebody knows more. Whatever I know today, there's some set of best practices somewhere that I can just, pick it up, learn. And then you talk and people think you are using your own knowledge. Because of course, you see, the good thing about we humans is that 2 + 2 is not equal to 4. Just like in marriage, 1 + 1 is not equal to 2. In marriage, 1 + 1 is probably 1 billion, And that's just about it for knowledge too. If you teach me something today, if I add it to what I know, what I will produce will be greater than the sum of its parts. It will be greater than what I know plus what you know. Because it will be what I know plus what you know, plus a lot of connecting the dots. And then I will now talk. You now be like, was it what I taught you? It's what you taught me plus a lot of connecting dots. So that's what when you say you talk as though you're a genius. Of course, yes. For you to be able to connect the dots, you're a genius, yes. But more importantly, this is not something that only some people have. Maybe this is exclusive to some high-level people. No, it's not like that. We all can do all this. We just need to be humble enough and enlightened enough to have that approach to life of always learning, of always growing, of always finding out. I want to do something. Who is the best in the world that has done this? Okay, Mr. XYZ. Okay, let me Google his name. How did he do it? Okay, if I want to do something, okay, is there a tool that can make this thing work? The next thing, open up YouTube. YouTube should be in a very close place on your phone. Open up YouTube. Type it there. Watch a 20 minutes video. So this is the whole idea. How is it related to project management? Project management is a world on its own with tons and tons and tons and tons of wisdom of hundreds of thousands of people all around the world. That you could just, it gives you like a simple base point. Okay, let me just move on because of time. Okay, so project management is a structured way of getting things done. It has established processes, and templates that have been tested and agreed upon by professionals as the standard way of doing things to achieve optimal results. Let me also put something there. The fact that it works in the US doesn't mean to work in Nigeria. All we are saying is, oh, this has worked in the US. Let me see it. Let me craft mine. Mine doesn't have to be like theirs, but I don't have to start from scratch. Oh, this is how John Maxwell talks about leadership. Beautiful. How does it work in my own firm? No. Using it exactly as he said, it might not work. But let me pick its principles. I just need to think over it. Little modification. Try this out. No. I have problem. Withdraw. Let me also do another modification. Try this out. Okay, this works. So you'll be able to move faster than you wanted to start from scratch and try to figure things out and then do try and error. You will still do try and error. That's the truth. Don't let me do too much of sweet talking. This doesn't mean that you are now immune from try and error, but you can cut short that journey. You can move 10 times faster than others. Okay. And when you follow these templates, you are already following a near guaranteed path that works. And not just what we call wear belle face. Sorry, I'm not too formal. Wear belle face now, now. The way our people in Warri will say it. Wear belle face, boom. You wake up today, you're facing this direction, you run. And then tomorrow you wake up and face this direction, then you run. No, you are focused. You know what you are doing. Okay. I'm okay. I think I have like 5 more minutes. So when you leverage on giants, you are using best practices, saving time, saving resources, realistic start and end times, cover important necessary aspects of a project, accurately define scope, optimizes process and productivities. As much as some of these things might sound technical, please leave technicality. Project management, me and you, daily life. You can use principles of project management to be able to hit your personal goals with precision. Personal goals, business goals, life, relationship goals. In fact, like I tell people in my coach, I will tell them, if you are in this coaching class and as a male, your wife has not noticed a change in you, then you probably should ask for a refund. Because the point is, when you learn these principles, when you learn, your thinking changes. You realize that you have been using the very hard approach to a lot of what you do. And this is around us. We're not talking about going to Mars or going to space to go and bring something. Most of the things we see around us, they are lessons we just need to pick to be able to, grow. Okay. This is a lot of story. Can I stop at this point?
You have 5 minutes just to round up, and then we can complete.
I have 5 minutes. This one, yes. Hey, 5 minutes is not good enough. Okay, let's see.
But we're enjoying you. But if you want us to go into the question session just to make it a bit interactive, okay, I think that will be fine.
Let me just read the slides. I have some like 7 powerful slides.
Okay.
What are the
we can read them in 5 minutes, then we'll take the questions.
I will try not to explain. Stop me if I'm explaining too much. What are the big professionals keeping under the leaf? If you are talking about leveraging on giants, so here we have just extracted 3. We can't talk of tools. There are hundreds and thousands of tools. We can't talk of templates. There are millions of templates. Let's just pick 3 principles. 3 principles that when you manage projects the right way, you are essentially carrying out these principles. When you see someone who is a professional, who has spent several decades, years in the industry, they have ingested these principles and they are living these principles. These principles change lives because it has changed the lives of millions of people. So let's pick number 1. Proactivity is the hallmark of a professional project manager. Okay, I said I won't explain. Yeah, let me say one paragraph alone. When we say proactivity, what do we mean? It means pre-thinking, not being reactive. Don't underestimate the amount of value you can bring to the table when they see you as someone always 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps ahead of others. Before it happens, you have thought of it. You already have a plan. You already thought about it. You already have something you want to do. You are not just someone who's just running around putting up fires. The whole of project management sits on the concept of proactivity. Let me stop at that point. There's so much more. I wish I had more time. Okay, let me read from this slide. Okay, so proactive behavior involves acting in advance of a future situation rather than just reacting. If you are able to be proactive, you become the darling, in quotes, of wherever you are. Because people are overwhelmed when you can demonstrate the capacity to be ahead. People are lazy. If you are ahead, they just want to delegate to you to handle it because you've taken that pain to be ahead. That's a shortcut to the art of your boss. That's a shortcut to the art of success in life. Even if you're a business owner. Anyway, let me stop at that point. In organizational behavior and industrial organizational psychology, proactivity or proactive behavior by individuals refer to anticipatory, change-oriented, self-initiated. I love those words. Anticipatory. In fact, I like this word, self-initiated. A lot of people are just so docile. They don't move if you don't tell them to move. That's nonsense. You are supposed to be proactive. Let me stop. I promise not to explain. Okay, number 2. This one, jazz. Sorry, this one was fine English for jazz. Give me fine English. Voodoo. No, voodoo is that correct English? Okay. This is the magic of industrialization. This is the magic of industrialization. Henry Ford said something several years ago. He said, nothing is particularly hard if you can divide it into small jobs. These quotes form the foundation of how Henry Ford changed the future of automobile industry. There's a lot of story to that. Let me do a simple explanation. Nothing is particularly hard. Nothing is particularly hard if you can divide into small jobs. So the way I explain this, I say, never manage a big thing as a big thing. Always break things down. Simple principle is at the heart of managing anything. Never manage a big thing as a big thing. Always break things down. It's a basic principle. Always break things down. Even God, as majestic and huge and plenty and complete and everything as he is. Don't let me go to scripture so that you don't say I'm doing kiniko. But there's a lesson. God is talking to us. He has the power, capacity to create the world in one day. But what did he do? He broke things down. He said, okay, this, multiple this. He has the capacity. He's teaching us a lesson. Oh, you humans, be structured in your approach. Don't rush. Take your time. Don't just jump at big things. No, break things down into bits. Manage from the bits. The success will aggregate into a whole. Let me stop at that. Okay, let me read this guy. Jim Hatzins. He's saying, that is the source of his success. This is the source of that quote. Is the source of the success of Henry Ford. He organized the automobile construction by breaking it into tasks, training people to do the same task over and over correctly, which was using people as automatons, but it resulted in predictable results. There's something called first principles. Oh my God, I can't explain. But just go and Google it, first principles. There's something that Elon Musk talked about in relation to first principles. We all know Elon Musk. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he's the richest man in the world today. Elon Musk, a lot of success in his life, he has attributed it to taking in first principles. Go and read about it. We're out of time. Yes, this is an interesting one. It's related to first principles thinking. Project management rewires your brain. And a professional project manager has his brain rewired. What we mean by rewiring is most of us usually think in straight. It's not our fault. We were created that way. Most of the time we think in straight lines. We're created that way, Very few people, especially maybe those who have been able to go to some structured trainings, have been able to hack the way they think. To be able to think in a divergent way and then in a convergent way. I really can't explain this too much because this is it's like a one year everyday webinar on its own. Thinking models. Please, if you don't take anything away from this class, this webinar today, understand the fact that thinking can be hacked. thinking, it can be hacked. Project management has done a lot in hacking thinking because some of the tools have been able to hack the way you think, to force you to think in a particular way. Some tools force you to think in a convergent way. Some tools force you to think in a divergent way. For example, look at WBS now, work breakdown structure. That's a big word. Let me leave the big word. It's just something you do when you're managing what you want to work on. Scope, I don't want to use scope, it's another big word. Whatever you want to work on, you want to break things down into small bits. What's that? Divergent. And then you are converging back. That simple principle, you can win wars. You can literally conquer Mars just by understanding how convergent and divergent thinking work together. There are so many other styles of thinking. You have lateral thinking and many, many more. There are thinking models. We can enhance the way we do our things. These things have been explained. Just go online and Google thinking models. There are lots and lots of models. The geniuses have been observed. A lot of study have been done on them. So gone are the days when you need to be a genius from scratch. Now you can just leverage on what some people have said about them, and then boom, you can start copying them. And then by the time you start copying them, before you know it, you start being like them. And then people say you're a genius. You say, no, what am I doing? All I've simply done is to do this, and had it. Yes, it looks simple because it's done. What is done looks simple. If you're able to enhance these things, trust me, write today's date down. Come back again in 1 year time. You would be said to be a genius. All you need to do is write it down after this webinar. Mental models. Mental models. Google it. There are tons and tons of them. There's a blog post I came across recently. They had 25 mental models. Just ways of thinking. Let me see. Okay. Project management turns you into a thinking machine. Okay. Critical thinking is the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating information gathered from 1, generated by 2, observation, experience, reflection, reasoning, or communication as a guide to belief and action. Aha, since you have refused to stop me, let me move on. So
I think I gave you 5 minutes of grace just to make sure we landed some of those quotes, and I think it's been exciting. I mean, running through those quotes with you, I was tempted not to stop myself. I didn't have the guts to stop here. I wanted you to just continue and then see what's on the next slide and see what's on the next slide, and I think it's been exciting. And my mind tells me that you will be able to run through a few of the slides when we go to the questions. I think there are already questions in the chat box, and I think this is exciting and explosive. What are the few things as I give overview? Take the opportunity to quickly drop your questions in the chat room, and then we can take it from there. Yes, somebody says we also have given you 2 hours. I agree. The problem is this is Techbiz, so we structure another webinar where we can give him 2 hours to really deep down. But what I love about it is the fact that you've made project management extremely simplified. It looks, I mean, you actually have been able to implement a few of those things that you said, break it down, no matter how complex. That's what you've done. Truth, all of us are overwhelmed. Truth, we all want to improve our performance and improve our efficiency, improve our effectiveness while loving our comfort zones. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I like
we want
that.
to love our comfort zone. We want to improve our performance and effectiveness. We are overwhelmed with all the changes. And yes, we think from what you said, project management helps us do that. What does it do? For us to leverage, the minds and the knowledge and the processes that have been put together for thousands of years. And what this does is about how do we manage risk. You use all those knowledge and all those framework to allow us better manage risk. And then you have given a few of those steps and principles to do that. And I think to a large extent, you have done justice to simplifying it in our brains and letting all of us know that this is a continuous thing. We need to join you in the Kazan tribe to be able to perform better. But something I picked, while you were on it, I was quickly jumping onto my other system, and I quickly Googled, the World Economic Forum future of work and the skills in the future. And guess what? I was blown away. And I'll tell you what I picked, which I hope all listeners can pick. most of these were actually soft skills. They comprise of soft skills,
Exactly.
critical thinking, analytical thinking, complex problem solving. It's about the mind. And you know, I froze where I was because this is us trying to change hard skills and certificates and education and all that. But when you see, I mean, which course teaches you about complex problem solving as complex 101 or creative thinking 202? You know, so it means that we're actually mass producing people who do not have the right skill set for the future of work. And that jolted me into my reality. Okay. So I looked at it and it says it comprises of soft skills. And I encourage everyone, just like I've done, to go into that World Economic Forum Future of Work and quickly update yourself. It's what, you know, studying and sharing. And I think project management itself uses and utilizes a lot of these soft skills to be able to project you forward and make it more effective. We should have questions. And I think you can go into the chat box and take a few. What do I see there? Somebody says, I teach children technology. How do I make my team proactive in my absence as a startup in the North? How do I make my team, you know, proactive in my absence as a startup in the North? You know, it's interesting for people to know that we have people from all over the country who dial into Techbiz and people from even countries outside of Nigeria. So most times I encourage my speakers to not think Lagos, to think pan-Nigeria and think right. So this is question number one. I don't know, do you have any comments on this?
Okay. Well, I'm not an educational. I'm not. I don't have competence in teaching children, but I can say one or two things. I hope I can, because actually we homeschool our children. So to an extent, I have this little idea about some of these things I'm talking about. I think the key, one of the important things about being proactive starts from you yourself being proactive. And as you are carrying out children, well, I don't know when you say children,
No,
it
I
depends
think
on
what
the
is clarifying, let me help you with that.
Okay.
So what is in the business of teaching children? However, in his absence, his team is not
Okay,
proactive.
team.
So he's not
Oh,
worried about the
sorry.
children. He's
Oh,
worried about
sorry,
his
sorry, sorry,
team
sorry.
who is not proactive in his absence.
Okay. Well, okay, let's adapt my explanation because it still works. One of the best ways to make people imbibe some of all these soft skills is by showing it. Showing it in two ways. Show it and you don't tell them, and they observe, and then show it and actually use your showing it to teach them. It's very important. And then number three is improving them, make them learn. Number four is there should be consequences. Let me go over those four things again. Number one is you need to be that leader they look up to. Let it not be that you're asking them to be proactive and you are not proactive in handling their affairs. That's a disaster. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is, that one is, I call it passive mentoring. But the active mentoring is when you are doing some things, do it particularly because you want them to see you doing it. And then when they see you doing it, you do what we call lessons learned. You say, I did this because of this reason. For example, you are going for a meeting, and then you understand that because of blah, 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 this could happen. I took this decision because I know that this thing can happen in that meeting, and I'm preparing ahead for it. I think various ways in which it can happen. The first thing is you have to exude proactivity. And the next thing is you have to actively mentor them in the direction of proactivity. Then the third one is you have to try as much as possible, if possible, force them to learn. You can learn these things. See, audiobooks here and there. Not everybody likes to sit down and read. If you can, have a library in your office and books talk about these things. If you cannot buy those books, audiobooks. People have earphones in their ears now. It's not all the time that we should be on Audio Shack or be on Netflix or something. There are movies that you can think of, that you can watch now, that can make you imagine yourself in this position. So that's the third one. And number four, make your evaluation system actively promote people who are proactive. And then you publicly show gratitude when someone actually acts in a proactive way. As in, make it known. If there are two people, A is proactive, A does something proactively, shout it. Let people know. If possible, even give gifts. And then your appraisal, let's stop there. I think maybe I've tried to explain this a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and it's exciting because the other question was saying give case studies, and I think this is just the most effective way to talk about it. It's explaining how to promote an habit and how to reinforce an habit, because I agree with you, there's no better way to show or to get people to do things than to show them and to ensure that there are consequences for doing or not doing by reinforcing. And I think that's a perfect case study. Oh, somebody is saying, can we have the recordings? Oh, sure, definitely. All you have to do for this webinar and all the 53 webinars that we've had in the last 53 weeks, all you have to do is go to our website, www.ecoicenter.com/webinar, and there you are, boom, 54 episodes. This will be up tomorrow by noon. You should be able to get to the, we've gone through the edit, and you should be able to get to the website and you can find the recording. And yes, I think my colleagues have dropped it in the chat room. You can get it in there. If you are not also a part of the Telegram, make sure you are part of that community on Telegram. On WhatsApp is limited. We have more people on Telegram. Be a part of that community. My colleagues are also dropping the link to the Telegram in the chat room. The essence is that the Telegram allows you to be able to ask further questions, seek clarification, and we can see how we can be able to help you outside of this 1 hour that we can bring thought leaders like this. And I'm sure everybody will agree with me today that we had a subject matter expert come to decipher. I think of all the sessions I've had, I mean, standing in for Adedoje Ikeriche in the last 5 to 7 episodes, this is one in which I assume my facilitator is just midway of his presentation to tell you how loaded he is with all the things. But I can't say thank you on the slide. I can see he's still in the middle of what he can do. And I think, yes, it tells you how much work it takes to bring the right kind of people onto this platform to be able to equip the players in here. The truth is, for us to be able to play globally in this fourth industrial revolution, we cannot begin to rely on legacy knowledge. We need to be extremely dynamic, so we don't become like the mouse that was in the jar that he showed us. So it's not only golden money that runs out, or conflicts, or money. Ideas can become so stale, you consume, and there's practically nothing, and you get stranded. And that's what he's done. He's dished out from his world of experience. I've never heard project management explained, despite the fact that I did a project management course in my MBA. I've never heard it explained in this manner before, and we're very, very grateful. Thank you very much, Ibrahim, for this session. Blown away. I know if we give you 1 hour, you keep vibrating. And we love that. We look forward to you having you again sometime next in the future, maybe physical. I mean, the economy is opening now. We're looking for our Techbiz sessions where we'll begin to have a few people in-house, because we're transiting into a studio-like setting for Techbiz series, where we're going to have participants in our studios in the Co-Innovation Center, a few facilitators who can, such that it becomes more like a talk show, and a bit more interactive. That is planned as we come into H2, and we look forward to having such exciting speakers, knowledgeable speakers, thought leaders to be able to grace this platform in the future. Ibrahim, thank you very much. We're grateful. And to everyone who was a part of this platform across all our channels, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course on this Zoom platform, is to say thank you again and again for keeping a date with us on Techbiz series for today, where we have looked at how we can leverage giants in project management through their wealth of experience. Ibrahim has done justice to that, and we're grateful for that. I want to appreciate every one of us that's kept the day with us. I want to encourage you again to be a bit more active on the Telegram platform, and if you have not joined, make sure you join, and we look forward to having you again next week. This is Techbiz, coming to you from the Platform Eco Innovation Center, an accelerator located here in Lagos, 50 Awolowo Road, focused on helping people to move from concept to commercialization. We are an accelerator big on civic tech, and we enjoy the fact that we can be able to support you on your journey to commercializing your ideas. I remain your host and the founder of Eco Innovation Center, Victor Bingafolabi. Looking forward to keeping the date with you again next week, 5 p.m. on Techbiz series. And the beauty is that we're bringing another knowledgeable expert to come discuss with us next week. Is somebody I've known for 25 years. And he will be speaking of a topic very relevant: wealth and asset management in tough times. This is a time in which we need to be knowledgeable about managing our assets so we don't run out, like Ibrahim shared. Wealth and asset management in tough times. Benga Olufeagba will be somebody that will be speaking with us, extremely knowledgeable. He's a PhD holder in economics, and I've known him in the last 25 to about 30 years thereabout, and I can tell you he's also going to be explosive. Thank you very much, and thanks for keeping it with us. Do have a very pleasant weekend ahead. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you.